Hello students, so it is the last class of the molecular biology, that is the DNA fingerprinting. Already we people have seen in the yesterday's class the introduction of the DNA fingerprinting. So once again I will do the revision of the DNA fingerprinting, then we'll go for the class in detail. Okay, so first of all, in the yesterday's class we came to know that DNA fingerprinting is also called as DNA profiling. DNA fingerprinting is also called as DNA profiling. Okay, DNA profiling, and I have already told you that DNA profiling or DNA fingerprinting is nothing but the identification of the individual person. The identification of the individual person based on the DNA specificity. That means person to person DNA is going to vary. 1% of the 0.1% of the DNA is varying from person to person. So that is the called as what? Identification. So based on the DNA, identifying the person. That is called as what? DNA fingerprinting. Okay. So it is also called as what? DNA profiling. And this DNA fingerprinting or DNA profiling was first identified by the scientist called as Alec Jeffreys. Alec Jeffreys is the name of the scientist. Alec Jeffreys is the name of the scientist who has proposed the DNA fingerprinting concept for the first time. Okay, who has proposed the DNA fingerprinting concept for the first time. Later in India, the scientist called as Dr. Lalji Singh and Dr. Lalji Singh and Dr. V.K. Kashyap and Dr. V.K. Kashyap has proposed this DNA fingerprinting concept in India. Okay, has proposed this DNA fingerprinting concept in India. Okay, now you have understood the definition, you have understood the who has proposed this one. Now we are going to see principles. This principle we people have seen in the yesterday's class once again. That is, two basic principles are there. The very first one is called as what? The variable number of tandem repeats. What is the first principle here? Variable number of tandem repeats, or we can say it as a VNTR. What we are saying it as? VNTR. That is repeated, it is the repeated nucleotide sequence, present, repeated nucleotide sequence present in every human beings, every individuals. Repeated nucleotide sequence present in every individuals. That is called as what? The VNTR or the variable number of tandem repeats. Also, we people are going to see one more principle, that is autoradiography or radioactive DNA probes. What we are going to see? Radioactive DNA probes. So probe is nothing but the single stranded DNA fragment. What is the meaning of probe here? Probe is nothing but single stranded DNA fragments. Okay, single stranded DNA fragments is called as what? Probe. Okay, what do we call? It is called as what? Probe. Okay, so these are the introductory points what you have to remember. And also in the yesterday's class we people have seen the two basic principles of the DNA fingerprinting. Now also we people have seen the requirements is necessary. What requirements are necessary for the DNA fingerprinting? I have told you, usually DNA fingerprinting is used in the crime investigation departments, okay, or in the forensic science laboratories. So there what they will do, by using these techniques they are going to identify the criminals. Okay, what they will do, by using these techniques they are going to identify the criminals. So what are the procedures they are going to do? For example, any rape or any murder has going to be occurred in one particular area. Then the crime investigation department peoples will go, they are going to collect the biological samples from that incident area. Okay, what they are going to do? They are going to collect the biological samples from that incident area. So here first requirement is biological sample. Okay, first requirement what we are going to see, biological sample, collection of the biological sample. Then after the collection of the biological sample, we are going to see that from that sample DNA is extracted. Extraction of DNA, extraction of DNA by centrifugation. Extraction of DNA by centrifugation. So it is the second step. What is the first step here? Collection of biological sample. That is the first step. And the second step here is extraction of the DNA by centrifugation. Then third step is DNA is cutted into pieces. DNA is cutted into fragments. DNA is cutted into fragments by using the REN. Okay, what they will use? By using REN. Okay, so REN is nothing but the restriction endonuclease enzyme. So DNA is cutted into pieces by using the REN or restriction endonucleases enzymes, we will say. So what is REN here? Restriction, yesterday I have told you, restriction endonuclease. What it will do? It will cut the DNA. What it will do? It will cut the DNA. It is called as what? Restriction endonuclease. Then fourth step is converting the double-stranded DNA into converting the double-stranded DNA into single-stranded, converting the double-stranded DNA into single-stranded DNA bands, single-stranded DNA bands by using the gel electrophoresis. What we are going to use? By using the gel electrophoresis. Okay, by using the gel electrophoresis. Okay, so this is the fourth step. So first step is requirement as well as steps we are going to see. Requirement and steps. Okay, so here the first step is collection of the biological sample. So what requirement here? First biological sample is collected. Then after collecting the biological sample, the DNA is extracted from that by using the centrifugation machine. Okay, the DNA is extracted from that by using the centrifugation. Then the third step, DNA is cutted into fragments by using REN. Fragments means small piece, we can say. Okay, what is the meaning of fragments here? Small piece. So DNA is cutted into fragments by using the REN or restriction endonucleases. Then fourth step is converting the double-stranded DNA into single-stranded DNA bands by using the gel electrophoresis. See, gel electrophoresis is the technique. Concentrate on my words. Gel electrophoresis is the technique where the double-stranded DNA bands are converted to single-stranded or double-stranded DNA pieces are converted into bands. Okay. So gel electrophoresis is a technique where the DNA is converted into in the form of bands, we are going to say BANDS, bands. Okay. That is the fourth step. Next, fifth step. Okay. So transferring the single-stranded DNA bands, transferring the single-stranded DNA bands, single-stranded DNA bands in nitrocellulose sheet. In nitrocellulose sheet. That is the fifth step. What is the fifth step here? That is the transferring of the single-stranded DNA bands. See here, it is the double-stranded DNA band. Double-stranded is converted to single-stranded. That single-stranded DNA band is shifted into the nitrocellulose sheet. Okay, it is shifted to nitrocellulose sheet, we will say. Then after that, it is taken to the autoradiography machine. Taking the sheet to the autoradiography machine. Okay, taking the sheet to the autoradiography machine. Taking the sheet to the autoradiography machine. Okay. Then their matching of the bands is done. In the autoradiography machine, what will be there? Single-stranded DNA bands will be there. Already, the radioactive DNA probes will be there in the autoradiography machine. Okay, single-stranded bands will be there. So that is why that nitrocellulose sheet, which is consisting of single-stranded DNA bands, is shifted to autoradiography machine, which is comparing the matching over the, and the dark bands are going to produced, and then there is a identification of the criminal. Okay, so these are the steps what you are going to see. Okay, so now we'll see once again step by step. So here collection of the biological sample. So incident area, imagine any accident or any murder or any rape case. Okay, that incident area just imagine, and then we are going to suppose you people are the CID. Okay, you people are CID people and you are going to that incident area. What first you will do? You will see the situation. Okay, then after seeing the situation, after seeing the surrounding, you'll start collecting the biological samples by using the hand gloves. Is it not? Same case. So imagine, and just we are drawing the picture here. Okay. So first step is collection of the biological sample. What we are going to see here? Collection of biological sample. Imagine that it is the biological sample. So here you can see there is a biological sample. Suppose for example anything you take, imagine this is the biological sample. So there we can't get only one biological sample. So many biological samples will be there. Imagine that two biological samples we have got. This is the first person or number one's biological sample. This is the number two biological sample. Okay. Now from this biological sample there is a second step. What we are doing here? Second step is extraction of the DNA. What we are doing here? Extraction of DNA. What we are doing here? DNA is extracted. How DNA is extracted? By the centrifugation machine. Okay, by the centrifugation machine. See here, using some chemicals. What happens? In the centrifugation machine, using some chemicals, what happens in the centrifugation machine? Some material is kept, and there it will rotate like anything, like 1000 rotations per minute we can say. It will rotate like anything, and just it is going to separate the DNA in the thread-like structure. The whitish thread-like structure will be there. It is going to separate that one. That whitish thread-like structure is called as what? DNA. So here we have got the DNA by centrifugation. Imagine that this is the DNA by centrifugation. Okay. Now after this, so it is the DNA 1 and it is the DNA 2. Now after this, DNA is cutted into pieces. Okay. After this, DNA is cutted into pieces. Okay. So here you can see DNA pieces, DNA fragments. Okay. These are called as what? DNA fragments or DNA pieces. DNA fragments or DNA pieces. Okay. Then how we are going to cut the DNA? By using the REN. What we are using here? By using the REN. So REN is the enzyme. Okay, REN is the enzyme where it is helping for cutting the DNA into the fragments. What is REN here? REN is the enzyme where it is helping for cutting the DNA into fragments. So these are the DNA fragments. Okay. Then these DNA fragments are taken for the gel electrophoresis. Where they are taken? They are taken for the gel electrophoresis. The DNA fragments are taken for the gel electrophoresis. I have told you that gel electrophoresis is the technique where there is a presence of the wells. So this is called as what? Well. What do we call for this? It is called as what? Well. Well means where the DNA sample is inserted. Okay. So these samples, so here only two samples are there, only two wells we are inserting. Okay. So here by these two samples our DNA fragments are inserted in the wells. Okay, they are inserted inside the wells. So in this what happens? The gel is present. Okay, the gel is present. Gel, how it is prepared? Gel is prepared by using the agarose. Okay, gel is prepared by using powder, agar powder and water. By agar powder and water. How the gel is prepared? Gel is prepared by using agar powder and the water. That is called as what? Agarose. So agarose we are going to put in this. Okay. After putting the agarose gel, it is a tray. Okay. Where the agarose gel we are putting? It is in the tray, plastic tray we can say. In the plastic tray, we'll pour the agarose gel. Okay. And then in that gel, we are inserting some comb. Okay, comb, large teeth comb will say. Large teeth comb is inserted in that and wells are created. Okay, and after creating the wells, we are putting the, what we are putting? We are putting the DNA fragments in them. What we are putting in them? DNA fragments. Okay, then here it is connected to the switch. Where it is connected to the switch. So when the electric current is going to pass, okay, through this tray, what happens? The DNA bands starts traveling. Okay, the DNA, starts traveling in the form of bands. Okay, the DNA starts traveling in the form of bands. So initially there will be a larger bands. Okay, initially what happens? There will be a larger bands. As the material will be over, the bands are converted into smaller bands. Okay, as the material of the DNA will be completed, the bands are shifted to the smaller one. Okay, so here the DNA starts traveling in the form of bands in the gel electrophoresis. So hope so you have understood till here. So first what we are doing, first step what we are doing, we are collecting the biological samples. I have told you what is the meaning of the biological sample. That means wherever the incident area has been occurred, in that place whatever material they are going to get, okay, whatever material they are going to get, all are collected in the form of sample, okay, and then that is taken to the forensic science laboratory. After taking that sample to the forensic science laboratory, they are going to extract the DNA from that sample by using the centrifugation machine. I have also told you what is the meaning of the centrifugation machine. That is nothing but it is a rotating machine where it is separating the solid and the liquid particle. Okay, separating the solid and the liquid particle. So here also what they will do? They will take the sample, they will add some chemicals in that test tube and then they will keep in that rotating machine. So imagine, just imagine 1000 rotations per minute. How much fast rotation they will do. Just you have to imagine that one. And then we are going to get the white thread-like structure DNA. What we are going to get? White thread-like structure DNA. After getting the DNA from the biological sample, that is cutted into pieces. The DNA is cutted into small fragments or pieces by using the REN. I have told you what is the REN. REN is nothing but restriction endonuclease enzyme, which is cutting the DNA. Once again I will repeat, restriction endonuclease enzyme, which is cutting the DNA into small pieces. Okay, into small pieces. Then those pieces are taken for the gel electrophoresis. Where they are taken? They are taken for the gel electrophoresis. Now what is this gel electrophoresis? It is the technique where the small DNA fragments are converted in the form of bands. Okay, it is the technique where the small DNA fragments are converted in the form of bands, and it has been proposed by the scientist called as A. Tycellus. Okay, A. Tycellus is the name of the scientist who has proposed the technique called as gel electrophoresis. Okay, so here gel electrophoresis is a technique where the DNA is shifted or it is converting in the form of bands. So initially the larger bands is going to come. Why? Because the material is more over there. As the material will be, as the DNA material will become lesser, at last we are going to see the small DNA bands. Okay. Now after this technique, see, concentrate, after this technique we are converting, we are taking this bands, okay, we are shifting these bands to the nitrocellulose sheet. Now how we will do this one? See what happens here. Suppose in case, imagine that this is the gel electrophoresis. Okay, so as this gel electrophoresis technique, that means the starts traveling in the form of bands, what happens, we are keeping the nitrocellulose sheet. Imagine, just imagine that this is the nitrocellulose sheet. Okay, so this is the gel electrophoresis, here we are getting the bands. Okay, so just we'll keep like this. Okay, we'll keep the nitrocellulose sheet like this, and gently we are going to press on that. Gently, very gently, not with forcefully, very gently we are going to press on that. Now what happens, whatever the bands are there here, no, they are shifted to the sheet, they are attached to the sheet. Okay, so this is the Sutherland blotting technique. What do we call for this technique? We are calling this technique as Sutherland blotting technique. What do we call for this technique? We'll call this technique as Sutherland blotting technique. What is the meaning? So it is very important question for 1 mark. What is Sutherland blotting technique here? See, shifting of the double-stranded DNA bands to the nitrocellulose sheet. See, how will shift that one? It is the tray, okay, consisting of agarose gel. On this, DNA bands has been traveled already. Got? Now we are taking the nitrocellulose sheet paper and we are keeping like this. We have to press gently. Then what happens? Double-stranded DNA bands are shifted to this nitrocellulose sheet. So this technique is called as what? Sutherland blotting technique. Okay. Why do we call it as a Sutherland blotting technique? Why? Because it has been proposed by the scientist called as E.M. Sutherland. Okay. Why do we call like this? Because he has proposed by the scientist called as E.M. Sutherland. E.M. Sutherland is the name of the scientist who has proposed this one. E.M. Sutherland is the name of the scientist who has proposed the Sutherland blotting technique. Oh, so you have understood. Okay, E.M. Sutherland is the name of the scientist who has proposed this technique. What technique? That is shifting of the double-stranded DNA band to nitrocellulose sheet or nylon sheet, we will say. Okay, then that double-stranded DNA band, just imagine now. Now you have to imagine. See, it is the nitrocellulose sheet where you have got the double-stranded DNA bands. What you have got here? Double-stranded DNA bands. Now these double-stranded DNA bands, concentrate on my words, double-stranded DNA bands are converted to single-stranded DNA bands. Okay, converted double-stranded DNA bands are converted to single-stranded DNA bands by using the single-stranded DNA bands by using alkali solution. By using which solution here? Alkali solution. Okay. So here what we are doing? The double-stranded DNA bands are shifted to single-stranded DNA bands. So imagine I have told you this is the nitrocellulose sheet. Okay, this is the nitrocellulose sheet where we have kept on this gel electrophoresis. Okay. After that, these DNA bands are shifted here. Okay. After that, what we are doing? We are converting the double-stranded DNA band into single-stranded DNA band by using the alkali solution. Now, just you have to imagine the single-stranded DNA bands like this. Okay. Just you have to imagine the single-stranded DNA bands like this. Then, after that, we are taking this nitrocellulose sheet to the autoradiography machine. Where we are taking this nitrocellulose sheet? To the autoradiography machine. Now students, for most of you that what is this autoradiography machine, we can't imagine that one. So here just I'll tell you, you have to go on imagining the things. So it is just like a Xerox machine. Autoradiography machine is just like a Xerox machine. That means their scanning will be done. Xerox, how we'll keep the paper for the Xerox, like that the complete scanning is going to be done. But what is the difference here is, already there is a presence of single stranded DNA bands in the machine. Okay, just concentrate what I am telling. Already there is a presence of single stranded DNA bands in the machine. That is why we are calling them as the radioactive DNA probe. What we call for that? Radioactive DNA probe. PROBE. What is probe here? Probe is nothing but single stranded DNA fragment. What is probe here? Single stranded DNA fragment. So since there is a presence of already single stranded DNA fragment there, and here we are taking the nitrocellulose sheet over there, what happens? The complementary base pair. If you remember the first class, complementary base pair means what? Always adenine pairs with thymine by 2-week hydrogen bond, cytosine pairs with guanine by 3-week hydrogen bond. So that is complementary base pair. So I have told you already in the autoradiography machine, single stranded DNA bands are present. When we are taking this to the autoradiography machine, the complementary base pairs starts. Wherever the nitrogen bases are matching, their complementary base pair starts. Okay. Now after that, whichever sample is showing the more than 85 to 90% matching, okay, with the murder person, with the victim, okay, with the victim. So there we are going to identify the suspect. That means that person who has got murdered, there, that his DNA or her DNA is matching with the more person's DNA in how much ratio? In 85 to 90% of ratio. Then there we are going to identify the criminal. Okay, what we are going to do? There we are going to identify the criminal. So this, based on this only, we are going to see the DNA fingerprinting concept, and there further investigation starts. We are not confirmed that he is the only criminal who has done this murder. After knowing, just we can suspect him, just we can say him that after getting the DNA bands and all, just to, the crime investigation departments, what they will do, they have proved here, scientifically they have proved here that he is the person who has done the murder, but the person who has done the murder is not going to agree, is it not? So for that, further investigation is done by these people, and finally they will prove that the main person is the criminal. Okay, so this is the concept of the DNA fingerprinting. What do we call it? Is the concept of the DNA fingerprinting. So once again I'll repeat in short, please concentrate here. So first what we are going to do, we are collecting the biological sample from the incident area. After collecting the biological sample from the incident area, we are extracting the DNA by the centrifugation machine. After extraction, the DNA is cut into small pieces by using the restriction endonucleases. That restriction endonucleases is the enzyme which is cutting the DNA at the particular site. Then, after cutting the DNA into the pieces, those DNA fragments are taken to the gel electrophoresis. Okay, they are taken to the gel electrophoresis, and then we will see that there is a traveling of the DNA in the form of bands. Okay, what is gel electrophoresis? I have told you that it is a technique where the DNA fragments is shifted to the bands. Okay. And here we are using the agarose gel powder. So agarose gel means what? That is the mixture of the agar powder and the water. They are going to boil that one. Okay. Then after that, after getting the double stranded DNA bands in the gel electrophoresis, on that we are keeping the nitrocellulose sheet. Okay. On that what we are doing? We are keeping the nitrocellulose sheet there. After keeping the nitrocellulose sheet, the double-stranded DNA bands are shifted to the nitrocellulose sheet, and this is called as what? Sutherland blotting technique, and it has been proposed by the scientist called as E.M. Sutherland. After shifting the double-stranded DNA bands to the nitrocellulose sheet, it is converted to single-stranded DNA bands by using the alkali solution. Okay, after getting the single-stranded DNA band, it is taken to the autoradiography machine. Autoradiography machine speciality is it is consisting of single-stranded DNA bands, that is called as radioactive DNA probe. Okay, those single-stranded DNA bands are matching with the bands of the nitrocellulose sheet, and then they are going to form the dark bands. Okay, so whichever person, suppose 4 to 5 samples are there, if then the person who has got murdered is DNA bands of the murdered person, if it is matching more than 90% with the other suspect, then they crime investigation department peoples are going to identify that particular criminal, and further investigation is done. That is not the final, that is the proof what they are showing, but they have to do the further investigation, and then finally they are going to prove the criminal that he has done the murder. Okay, so this is the concept of the DNA fingerprinting or DNA profiling. So here we are going to we have completed this one. After this, we have to see the applications of the DNA fingerprinting. So that application is the last one. Now we'll see that one. Well, now we are going to see the applications of the DNA fingerprinting. So I have already told you before starting the DNA fingerprinting concept that we are going to know about the criminal first. By the DNA fingerprinting, we are going to track down the criminal in the crime investigation departments, and also we are going to see the identity. That means the people, the crime investigation department people, what they are going to do, they are going to identify the dead body. Okay, what they are going to do, they are going to identify the dead body, unknown dead body. What do we say? Okay, and also, suppose I have told you that if there is a child exchange in the hospitals, then they are going to check the DNA of the parents, and then they are going to just return the child. Okay, like this, so many cases is going to happen in the metro cities, not in the normal cities. In the metro cities, what happens? Some cases are that you have the knowledge of the metro cities, how it will be, is it not? So there what happens, suppose in case if the child has got been exchanged in the hospitals, then if the parents are going to complain that one, then only the DNA testing is done of the child and the parents, and then they are going to reunite the child with the parents. Okay, and also those children which have lost in the floods and droughts. Okay, those children which have lost in the floods and droughts, suppose if the parents they feel that the child is alive or the child has lost in that particular flood or drought, then they will go for help of this technique. Okay, and they reach to their children. Okay, so that's solving the disputed parentage, what do we say? So like this, so many applications are there of the DNA fingerprinting. Okay, now, so finally we have completed our topic called as molecular basis of inheritance, which is of 12 hours topic and 10 marks here from this chapter. So I'll just concentrate on the main concept of this topic. So first of all, you have to remember the genetic material. 5 marks questions, just I'll tell you orally. So you have to remember the concept of the DNA as the genetic material by the scientist called as Griffith, Avery and MacLeod, and Hershey and Chase experiment. So all these 3 experiments you have to be perfect for 5 marks for the final exam. Okay, and also you people have to be perfect in the structure of the DNA. Okay, in the structure of the DNA also it is asked for the theory for the 5 marks. Next to the structure of the DNA, we are going to see the semi-conservative replication process. So there semi-conservative replication also we are going to see the important 5 marks concept. After the semi-conservative replication, you people are going to see the transcription. It is also important for 5 marks. Translation is important for 5 marks. Genetic code and its characteristic feature is important for 5 marks. Then lac operon is important for 5 marks. Finally, the Human Genome Project. The salient features are very important for 5 marks and the goals are important for 3 marks. And there at the zenith of the molecular biology, we are going to see the DNA fingerprinting, which is very important for 5 marks. So it completes your molecular biology chapter. Thank you.